Okay, hi there everyone. Today we're going to make Olivier salad. It's a Russian potato salad. Okay, first off it calls for 3/4 pounds of smoked meat. Now usually, from what I read on the internet, variation on this salad is very, very common. I'll insert I'll insert the facts about the salad now on the corner there. But obviously, I guess it was a gourmet treat in Russia at one time. Now, when you cut the meat, what you want to do is cut it in really small cubes that you can get. I guess you could make it chunky if you wanted to. Get in close here so you can see. And just take your time cutting it. Be slow. Take your time and be slow. And then this is what you'll get. End up with little pieces. The next ingredient is potato. Now I'll insert a picture of me boiling the potatoes and the carrots, because you boil the potatoes and the carrots. First start off with the potatoes, which it calls for yellow potatoes or golden potatoes. But anyway, you leave the skin on the potatoes because this is a Russian potato salad. So basically you need the potatoes cooked like this for any type of potato salad, whether it be Russian, German, American. You boil the potatoes. So like the ham, we're going to slice it into very small cubes. Get in here so you can see it. And just take your time and realize there's no rush. People that made it for the holidays, they would want to take their times to present a proper presentation to their family and make sure that it tastes the best that they've ever done. But yeah, this is a recipe that was inspired by, Art Buzrukavenko, and he's a friend of mine that I follow here on YouTube, and he's from Ukraine. He's Ukrainian, and he always talks about making this, but he hasn't yet. So I thought I would beat him to the punch and maybe he can watch this and get some tips or tricks on how to make it himself. So, okay, that's the potatoes. So I got 2 more to do, so I'll finish them and I'll be right back. Okay, here's a little trick of the trade. Now I already did this, but let's assume that this is, let's just assume. Okay, you know how to make hard-boiled eggs. I'm not going to go through that step, okay? But let's say these eggs are boiling and they just came off the stove, okay? So what you want to do is you want to add cold water to it, to the touch. I mean, even once it gets a little chilled, just take the boiling water off and refill it with cold water. Okay, now a lot of people have problems peeling their eggs. So this is what I learned in the restaurant is, okay, once the eggs are done boiling and you have them in cold water, you tap one side, tap the other side, and try to get that water underneath that top layer of egg. Okay, once you get the water up underneath there, then you just keep on peeling. You've got all the peel off the egg. So yeah, was a little trick I learned. When you're peeling like dozens and dozens of eggs, you know, you tend to learn little tricks to help make the job a little bit easier. And what you want to do is always try to keep your egg underwater, because the water is what helps pull the shell away from the egg. Okay, the next ingredient is an onion. Now it calls for 1 whole yellow onion, but I'm not that keen on onions. And this is quite a big onion. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically do a half of this onion. So that's like when you're cooking, you make decisions like that, you know. You give and take. The recipe says for a whole onion. Do they mean large, small, medium? What do they mean? So basically, it's like the recipe telling you that it comes with onion, and it's up to you. It's up to you as the cook to how much you want to put in. So basically, you get the idea here. You just chop all the ingredients into as small cubes as you can, and then we put it in the bowl with the rest of the ingredients. So let me clean this up a little bit and I'll be right back. Okay, the next ingredient is carrots. Now the carrots, you peel the carrots before you boil them. So like I said, these carrots have already been cooked with the potatoes. Now I noticed when I was cooking my carrots with my potatoes that the carrots tend to cook first. So like if you have big potatoes like I did, you might want to start the potatoes, bring them to a boil first, and then add your carrots, and then they will both be done at the same time. Cut it in half, then the halves in half, and then what you want to do is, like with all the other ingredients, make little small cuts or strips. Make it into like carrot strips. And then you cut the carrot strips in pieces, making the little cubes. So like I said, the recipe called for 3 carrots. I'll put the recipe on the screen here, and you can pause the video and write down the recipe if you're truly interested. So that's ingredient 3. Okay, the next ingredient is cucumber. Now, some recipes call for cucumbers and some recipes don't. It's just a matter of taste. And I like cucumbers in my salad. So that's why, and it calls for a half a cucumber. But like I said, I like my cucumber. So we're gonna put a whole cucumber in, because I like cucumber. I don't like onion, but I like the cucumbers. So we're going to, you know, put less onion and more cucumber. All recipes are a matter of taste. You know, some ingredients, I try not to leave any ingredients out. Like say, if it calls for a cup of something, I may only put a half a cup. So yeah, so I'm going to cut up the rest of this cucumber, and I'll be right back with the next ingredient. Okay, this is a little test that, sorry, I'm eating a cucumber, but this is a little test that I found amusing when I found out about it. Is how to tell the difference between a raw egg and a hard-boiled egg. So if for any reason you get them mixed up or somebody tries to play a joke on you, you take the egg and you spin it. As you can see, this one here is not spinning. That's the raw egg. A hard-boiled egg will always spin. So if you want to tell a hard-boiled egg from a raw egg, just spin them. Okay, the next ingredient is dill pickles. So I'm just going to do the last pickle for you, but you get the idea. Now, funny story. When I went to get the ingredients for this salad, I forgot the pickles. Yeah, here's your eggs. Same thing, when you cut the eggs, you cut them into little cubes. The way I do it is I cut them in half, and then just, there's not too many ways that you can dice up eggs without them falling apart. So yeah, you get the idea. The next ingredient they call for is frozen green peas. Some of them say to steam them and cook them. I thawed the frozen peas, and I'm just going to add them in thawed. Okay, I'm going to add the rest of these ingredients, and I'll be back and I'll mix it all together for you. Okay, here we have all the ingredients mixed in a bowl. Now, I gotta say, these Ukrainian recipes make a lot of servings. So the next time I make a Ukrainian dish, I think I'm going to cut the recipe down by half for myself, because this is quite a large recipe. Okay, the next ingredient calls for 1 cup of mayonnaise. Now, this is another interesting ingredient that, yeah, if you noticed, I dug a little well out in the middle before I put my mayonnaise in. Another little trick there. It helps with the mixing. If you get it in the well. Okay, anyway, like I was saying, you can use almost any type of mayonnaise that you prefer, because the dressing, as you read the story, the dressing was the secret ingredient that nobody knew except Olivier, who created the salad. So I also, when I make my American potato salad, I always like to add a little bit of mustard, because I think the mustard gives it a little, the mayo gives it, I'd say about a quarter cup. I would say that the mayo gives it the sweetness, and then the mustard gives it a little more tartness. You can add more mayo if it needs it. And basically you want to get it to a consistency that you can shape it into a patty. I'll show you that in a few minutes. But you want all the ingredients to stick together. I'm going to say a little bit more mayonnaise here. It calls for a whole cup. I'm going to go about 1.25 cups, because like I said, mine isn't the true mayonnaise. Mine's more a salad dressing. All right, that's looking good. So then it says to dill to taste. Okay, I was going to use fresh dill, but I bought this when I made my my borscht. I added both. So I'm going to finish using this up. It doesn't really say how much dill to add, so I guess it's to taste. And you also want to use it as a decoration once you plate it. And salt and pepper to taste. So, okay, let's mix all this together and then taste it and see if we got to add any more. Okay, let me taste this. Try to get all the ingredients. It's hard to tell from taste because I never tasted it before, but I think it tastes pretty good. Okay, let me clean up here a little bit. Okay, like I said, there's like two types of presentation here. There's, my opinion, the fancy presentation, like you would get it in the restaurants, and that would be basically what I'm doing here. Now, this is going to be a test, and what I'm doing is I'm filling up a cup, a measuring cup. Now, when they go to the restaurant, they have these, circular molds. But for my demonstration and for me, seeing that I'm a home-style cook, this is how I'm going to do it. So if you're going to have a fancy get-together, this is what I would do. So you would fill a measuring cup, place it in the middle of the plate, and then lift it off, which gives you a 1 cup portion. And then once that is done, you take your dill and sprinkle your dill lightly over it. Okay, and that would be your fancy presentation. Now for just me around the house eating it, and I've seen it eaten like this also for like barbecues or family to get-togethers, or just plain, you just want a plain snack. You just fill up a bowl and eat it, you know? Nothing fancy. I mean, unless you want to go with the fanciness. Now, if I was going to go serving it fancy like this, I would probably go just a tad more mayonnaise, because it's a little, or leave it in the refrigerator for a few hours and let it set up. And then it would be a little bit more firmer when you serve it. But yeah, that's the fancy presentation. This is the home style presentation.